Okay.
In other news now, another Canadian soldier is under investigation in the death of a Somali man. He died last month at the peacekeeping compound in Belatwain. 4 soldiers are already in custody, and now there is a 5th, Sergeant Perry Douglas Gresty. No charges have been laid, but the military did reveal today that the Somali man was beaten to death. Paul Adams has that story.
It was a bittersweet moment last December when Canadian soldiers said goodbye to their families and prepared to leave for Somalia.
Troopers, Brocklebank, start!
No one would have guessed that 3 months later, 5 of them would be under investigation for a murder half a world away, including Trooper Elvin Brown, Trooper David Brocklebank, Sergeant Mark Boland, and Master Corporal Clayton Matchey.
Why did it take so long for an investigation?
The opposition is now demanding answers about the speed and timing of that murder investigation. Somalis have frequently been found sneaking into the Canadian camp at Belatwain to steal equipment or provisions. On March 16th, a Somali man was apprehended by Canadian soldiers doing just that, but he ended up dead by the end of the day. A few days later, a Canadian journalist who was on the base realized something was going on.
I simply heard some commotion while I was in one of the communication tents, and I came out to see what was happening, and I saw a soldier being carried out of the detention cell on a stretcher.
Canadian officials now say the soldier was Master Corporal Matchey, who had apparently attempted suicide after being held in detention in connection with the death of the Somali. Although Jim Day asked a lot of questions, the Department of Defense didn't offer any answers until this week, 3 weeks after the death.
At that time, they told me that 4 Canadian soldiers were being investigated in connection with the death of the Somali.
Days and weeks after it has occurred.
The opposition says it took the military 5 days before sending police officers to investigate. But Defense Minister Kim Campbell says the investigation has been completely proper.
The Department of National Defense is working as thoroughly and as quickly as they can.
Although the Department of Defense now says a 5th soldier has been detained, none of the men has been charged with any offense by Canadian authorities. However, relatives of the Somali man who died now say they plan to press a claim of wrongful death of a family member. Paul Adams, CBC News, Ottawa.